Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I just finished the Harry Potter series like literally a couple of days ago, and it made me want to read some more YA books. So I thought this week we'd concentrate on more of my YA books. Obviously we only do 3 books. I do have a few more, but these are kind of just some that sparked my interest. I mentioned it in a previous video. I'm in a little bit of a life slump. My mental health is not great. So I just wanted something easy and fun. And what better way to do it than YA? I don't read romance, so that's out of the question for me, even though there might be a little bit of a romance in here. But this is the books that we plan to read this week. I will go through what they're about as we read them. But the first book, we have Butterfingers. The first book we have here is The Record Keeper by Agnes Gomillion. I got this a few months ago and I'm very, very curious. It's like an African dystopian story, which I've never read anything like that. I don't think I've ever read any African author either, so that could be interesting. It takes place after World War III, which obviously hasn't happened, but it happens in this book, so dystopian. Very, very excited to try this. Then the next book, honestly, for years I've been going back and forth whether to purchase this book because some people have a really good things to say about it. The shop attendant loved it and she recommended it to me, so I went back and forth a few times and eventually I just got it because I also like the cover, and that is Anatomy, a Love Story by Donna Schwartz. I don't know really what this is about. I kind of know that it's about a medical student in 1817, and as we know women weren't allowed into university, so she was stealing cadavers or something and doing like experiments on that, so something to that effect, but it does say a love story. So I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but I know that it is YA and I love this cover and I'm hoping to love it. I saw that Rachel Catherine also read it. It is a duology and she rated it about a 3-star, so let's see what I think. And then the last book we have here, which honestly it probably shouldn't be in this video, it should be in a continuing series, but I'm dying to read it, and it is YA and it is also fantasy / dystopian, Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, and this is the Lunar Chronicles, and this is the second book. The first one it's somewhere around here, down here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it over here. It's called Cinder, and I really love this series. I can't find all the books though. I only have this one, and then there is 2 more in the series, I think, or 3 more. So very excited to get back to this, and I know it's such an easy read and I'll definitely have a fun time reading this. So yeah, that is what we have planned for this week. I hope you guys are excited. Let me know in the comments what your reads are for the week, and yeah, let's start a conversation about that. Without further ado, I have lots to do today, so let's go ahead and get started. Hello everyone, sorry for the lighting. I'm using natural lighting again. I always apologize for that, but it always turns out okay when I am editing. But I thought I'd give you a quick update. My voice is croaky. I thought I'd give you a quick update on Anatomy. I am now on page 81, chapter 9. I don't know, I'm conflicted about it. It's very, very gory, very gory. So it's talking about the medical field in the 1800s, and obviously then they didn't have the technological advances that we have now, so it's still like sawing people's limbs off and stuff. And our main female character, her name is Hazel, she is obsessed with medicine. She really wants to become a doctor, although surgeons are frowned upon because they're seen as savages or just butchers because they just amputate and yank people's teeth out and stuff like that. She's very, very interested in the medical field, and obviously in the 1800s women weren't allowed to go to university and they weren't allowed to take on professions like this, but she's literally obsessed. She's very wealthy. Her uncle was oh my gosh, confused. Her grandparents were viscounts, her brothers are her uncle's a viscount, and her mom was the daughter of a viscount, and her dad's the general of the navy. So he's away in St. Helena, and one of her brothers died because of the plague that hit. Although herself and her brother got the plague at the same time, he passed away and she ended up getting better. So her mom's very withdrawn, and because of their social standing, she's due to marry her cousin, her mom's brother's son, because they want to keep it in the family, obviously. Her obsession with medicine comes from her father and then also her brother that passed away. They were very curious about medicine, and there's this famous doctor called Dr. Beechman, I think it is. No, Dr. Beecham. Yeah, Beecham. And he's like this famous physician who like made all these incredible breakthroughs in the medical field, and she is trying to enroll in medical school, but obviously she's a female, so I don't know how it's going to unfold. Then our main male character, his name is Jack. He is what they call a resurrection man, and what those are basically grave robbers. So they steal bodies out of coffins. Like, they usually wait until a couple days after they've been buried, and they break them out of their coffins and sell them to the medical profession so they can use the bodies for various testing. But it's so gory. Like, they describe in detail, or Donna, the author, she describes in detail how these amputations and stuff take place. So we've seen one amputation already with someone's leg being cut off on a stage full of people. It was like done in a theater to show this new break in technology that they had. And then also we saw another one where her uncle had one of his teeth yanked out. No, I'm sorry. They had like a beggar come for money, and he was being paid to have one of his teeth yanked out so it could be implanted in her uncle's mouth. It's gory, and like my whole body tenses up when I read that kind of stuff. But I'm still curious to see where it goes. It's very, very easy to read. The way she's written it just flows very well. The one thing I don't like is like the continuation between chapters. I don't like it where we end at one point where it's kind of a cliffhanger, and the next chapter we don't pick up exactly where we left off. That's not my favorite thing. But other than that, it's so easy to read. It is YA, but very, very gory. Very gory, which is not my favorite thing. Like, I love horrors and stuff like that, but I hate anything with gore, like stabbings and stuff like that. I just, it makes me cringe. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. That's kind of what the book is about so far. But we'll see. Something's happening as well with the resurrection men. They're starting to disappear, but I kind of have an inkling what that is caused by, but we'll see if I'm correct and see if this book is predictable. There's a couple of things that have been hinted at, and I put two and two together, but we'll see. Hi everyone. So I didn't check in for the past couple of days because I was trying to finish this before checking in. I've edited a few videos and my videos are getting longer and longer by the day, so I'm hoping to shorten them up. Firstly, sorry about the echo about where I'm sitting. It's just my ring light is here, or my studio light is here, because I do my puzzles at this table. So I just came here because it's already here, but there is a slight echo. Anyway, so I finished Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz, and my rating for this book is going to be a 3.5, and that is because I didn't get along with all the body gore and body horror and just the goriness of all of it. Like, there was a part, a bit of a spoiler, where a leg gets amputated and you see it in full detail. There's another part where they try to like transplant an eye. Why does my eyebrows look weird? When they try to transplant an eye, and in so much detail. There's grave robbers and you see like maggots and all of that stuff, and it gave me the ick. My entire body was clenching up. It was just so gross. I couldn't handle it. Like, it's weird for me that this is YA with all of that content in there. It was disgusting in my opinion. It is like a romance slash horror, I guess. Not my favorite. I did like the love story. I really grew attached to our main female character, whose name was Hazel, and the main male character, which is Jack. The end had a rather big plot twist, and I guess that's setting it up for the second book, because it kind of teeters the line of fantasy, because it is historical fiction, but there's some fantasy elements in it. So it was fun. It was fun seeing the romance, and Hazel trying to become a doctor, and she kind of opens up her own little practice so she can see students, so she can see patients and stuff, even though she is just a student. She tries to go to medical school, but unfortunately she's a female and she gets caught out, so she's kicked out of this university, but she's still determined to become a medical practitioner. All of that, it was fun. It was fun. It was so easy to read. The writing was really, really seamless seamlessly done, and it was so easy to understand and comprehend, and I thought it was a really fun time. I guess that is why I like YA books, because they're really easy to comprehend, they're easy to fly through, so it's not too dense. So I really appreciated that. So 3.5, which I thought was good. I don't think I will read the second book though, just yeah, it wasn't really for me. And if the rest of the series, I think there's only 2 books, it's duology, the second book, if it has as much gore and stuff in it, I'm definitely not gonna like it. So I don't feel like I need to waste my money on a mediocre book, because it was just over mediocre, just a little bit better, even though I don't like romance or historical fiction, which are neither of my real genres. I did have fun reading it, and it was a nice introduction and also a palate cleanser, but ultimately not my favorite because I don't like the genre. Anyway, moving on. The next book I decided that I want to start is The Record Keeper by I can never say her name, Agnes Gormillion. This is more of dystopian, so I love dystopian, especially YA dystopian. They're so easy to absorb and get through. So this is quite a chunky one though. It's over 400 pages, but the writing and the line spacing looks really good, as well as the font. I'm excited. I'm not entirely sure where the premise is going to go. Obviously I read the back, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's read 100 pages and then I'll come back and give you guys an update. Guys, I thought I'd just check in. I'm still in my clothes from going out because I went to the post office. I actually got sent a book from a author, so I had to collect that. I will be reading it in an upcoming video, probably after this, but for now we're still carrying on this vlog, and I am now 238 pages in, and there's no chapter like numbers, it's got names on it, and I don't know how to say this, but I have no clue what's going on in this book. I'm 200 and something pages in. I still don't understand the concept of the book or where it's going or what is the purpose. It's very confusing. There is a little bit of world building, but not a lot of it, and a lot of the time like explanations are alluded to, so we kind of just left groping at things and trying to figure it out for ourselves. Sorry, I have a burp that's trying to come out. But so far we're following our main female character, and her name is Erica, and she lives in this new America called Congo. So there's the Northern Territory, the Clay Territory, and then the Congo. And the Northern are Caucasian people, the Clay people are brown people, and the Congos are black people. But the Congos have been tasked with agriculture, so they're basically slaves. They work in fields, but then they also have a certain sector called record keepers, and these people just document the lives of the workers. In this society, they go through cycles as well, so obviously manual labor can be really hard on you, and you're not allowed to get married or be in relationships for longer than a year. They use women just to like have babies and then kind of decipher themselves who becomes record keepers and who gets to work in the field. So they take these rebirthing pills. These pills kind of scramble your mind so you don't remember the hardship that you had and just look forward to working hard again. So that's kind of where we got to. There was World War III, which basically was someone like hacking into a system and blowing up a bunch of people, and this is how the Third World War started or something like that. So in this world they don't believe in using actual technology because it can get hacked and all of that. So they use like solar panels and planes and stuff. Planes are like painted to camouflage because people are scared of technology now because they think it might bring on another war. So it's very confusing. But Erica is a record keeper, but she, when she was young and plucked out of her nursery and sent to a home to start her training, she was kind of an oddball, and she remembers from being born and being in a nursery full of brothers and sisters, but they're all just other babies that were birthed at the same time, and she remembers them, and she was separated from them when she started her training. But then when they come of age, which is like 6 or 7, then they get to come together with everybody that they were in that nursery with that are record keepers. So she runs into the classroom, makes a big deal, and no one acknowledges her. So she gets punished and put in the pit, which is like a hole, and you don't get fed or watered or anything like that, because the mistress, the headmistress of the school, is quite a, yeah, think Mrs. Trenchbull times 100. That's kind of where I got to. There's a lot of politics that I don't yet understand, even though I'm so far, and I feel like it's very poorly written, in my opinion. There's no like explanations or anything. However, I wouldn't say it's poorly written, it's just poor storytelling, because there's this one part that I really liked, but it just shows how brainwashed they are. So they are brainwashed in order to think that the law is the law because of a reason. They came up with this thing called a compromise. In this document, it states why the record keepers, which are called the first brothers, are more important than the second brothers, because the second brothers are like brutes. The first brothers and second brothers, they don't mix at all, and they're just brainwashed to think a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure that the world extends further than Congo, but none of them believe that. They were told that this is it, this is the world, this is all we have on this earth. The sun is eating people, but you know, like scorching people, and there's no life outside of it. But anyway, there is also a plague. Oh my gosh, I'm explaining this terribly. Please just bear with. There's also a plague that's now hit them, and they were brought up to believe that Congolese people, they don't get sick. They have the strongest immune system. You know, they're in God's honor. They work for Mother Earth and stuff like that. So they don't get sick. But now this plague is hidden, and Erica's seen firsthand what it's done, and she just can't believe it. But anyway, she is not a full record keeper. She's training to be one. So she goes into this this building where they're nursing people who are suffering with the fever, and she decides that what she's going to do to help is start taking their stories, which is the responsibility of a record keeper. And when she speaks to one guy, she has this conversation with him centered around the earth, and this is what she said that I thought was quite profound. It was on the tip of my tongue to say to him that he was not as helpless as he supposed, that Mother Earth was not the boss, for we, humans, had mastered her long time ago. We harnessed her power to strengthen our own. We commanded her to grow, and she did as we wanted, not the other way around. All this was on the tip of my tongue, but I swallowed it. So she's trying to comfort him while he's dying, and what obviously her outlook on life is very different, being sheltered in a schoolhouse, whereas everybody else is on the ground working, and they have their like myths and stories and stuff, and she just can't believe it, because what she believes that what she's been told, because she's brainwashed so well, she believes that what she's been told is the truth and the only way. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I stand with it. It's easy to read, it's not very complicated. It's just confusing. But anyway, I'm going to finish this book before I come back to you guys, because I don't know what more I'd be able to say other than just being very confused, and hopefully the end will bring some understanding. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll let you guys know. My mic is hanging on by a thread over here, so if it pops off, I'm so sorry, but just forewarning you. Okay, so I haven't checked in for a while, but I finished the Record Keeper yesterday. Sorry for the lighting, it goes in and out. I am just using natural lighting, but I finished the Record Keeper yesterday by Agnes Gamillion. I am conflicted about how I feel about the book, because I was so confused during the first half of the book, and the second half things really ramped up, and I really liked the subliminal messaging that we got. So our main female character is 17 years old, like I said before, and there are these different not factions, it's basically segregation. So we have the Northerners, which are Caucasian people, the Clay people, who are a mix of Indian and Asians, or Indians are Asians, and Chinese or ethnic people, and then we have the Congos, who are black people, black skin. They are segregated by this, it's called the compromise, and in the compromise, the Northerners, the Caucasians, they rule the land, they have the highest stake in their government, and they still allow the other factions to weigh in, but they are not like high up. So the Congos are tasked with basically being slaves, and they work in the fields, they do the mining, they do all the dirty work that the Caucasians don't want to do. And all the Caucasians are obviously higher up. They run technology labs, they become teachers, they just rule the land. And the clay people are somewhere in the middle. There's a lot of brainwashing, and obviously they try to explain why the segregation, so that there's like, you know, complete balance on the earth. And after World War III, where I said there was like this huge bomb and earth was kind of destroyed, they're finding out that there's actually more out there, and what they've been told is lies. And Erica is now kind of conflicted about what to do with it, because she can kind of see the truth, and after an event happens where she kind of meets her birth father, which is not allowed, something sparks inside of her, and now she's ready to become a warrior and take back what her people have worked so hard for, and take back their Congo. It was largely based on race. It was race, segregation, and the strength of the people when they come in numbers, because the Congo people are the majority of the population. So why are they succumbing to all these things? Apparently Congolese people are also not supposed to get ill. They're like the strongest out of all the humans that there are left on the earth, but now they're plagued with something, and she doesn't understand where this is coming from. But something's come to light, and now she's ready to fight back. So I'm excited for book 2, but I'm still not 100% sure on what my rating is going to be. It was so easy to read. It was really, really easy to fly through. I think I read it in like 2.5 to 3 days, which, considering how confused I was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know how I feel. Maybe I will wait until the end of the video to give you my final rating. It's sitting somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4, just because of that messaging, the larger theme of the book. Like, a lot of the times, like I said, I was confused, and the author didn't make a real effort to explain things in the beginning, and you slowly try to find out for yourself as you go along. Still, some of the things are really confusing and I don't understand. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait a bit until I let you know how I feel fully about this book, because like I said, I just finished it yesterday and I started the next book already, so I haven't really thought too much about it. So I'm gonna hold off on giving you my rating. Then I started the final book of this vlog, which is Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. I thought it was an immediate continuation from Cinder for some reason, but I forgot that this is now a Little Red Riding Hood. That came out weird. Little Red Riding Hood reimagining, retelling in this dystopian world. So Scarlet obviously lives with her grandmother. If you know the nursery rhyme or the little Disney story, you'll know what Little Red Riding Hood is. Anyway, she lives with her grandma in France, and her grandma goes missing, and her father comes back randomly looking for something in her grandmother's house, but she hasn't seen her father for years. He's just basically abandoned them, and no one is taking seriously that her grandma is missing until she meets someone who is in a restaurant, and he's like a street fighter, which is obviously illegal, but he like makes his money like that. And she meets him, and his name is Wolf. So he used to work for the organization of wolves, and yeah, he's now teamed up to assist her finding her grandmother, because somehow they connected to his people. So it's kind of strange. I'm not loving the storyline right now, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a very like frustrating, and I don't understand her reasoning for why she's being so stupid and naive. But Cinder is also from the first book, she is also featured in a few chapters, and she's obviously going through her own set of things because of what happened in the previous book. But I read on the back that they do converge, and they kind of come together and meet up, so that must be interesting to have Cinderella and Little Red Riding Hood together in the same scene. I think it's going to make for an interesting read. I am more I am enjoying the Cinder part of the story a bit more. I just, like I said, I just find, what is her name, Scarlet Scarlet very insufferable, and she's quite annoying. But yeah, I've already made it to page 136, page 14, and I started it last night. I read for like maybe 2 hours, hours, and then I read for an hour and a bit this morning. So it's going through pretty quick, but like I said, I'm just not enjoying Scarlet's story that much. I don't have the rest of the series, so I don't know when I will continue it, but for now it's still fun. It's so easy and fun, and it's a good palate cleanser. You don't need to think too much while you're reading this book. There is a bit of world building, but other than that, we got all of that in book 1. So I will link the vlog below where I read the first book, so if you need a little bit of a recap. I'm going to probably check in with you guys when I'm finished this book, because I think it will go pretty quickly. If not, I will check in with you guys tomorrow and let you know how far I am. I'm going to sit outside and read because it's a nice winter's day today. It's actually pretty warm, so I want to enjoy every bit of the sun that I can. So yeah, that's everything for now. I will see you guys in a bit. Some good news. I finally finished Cinder. So I finished this last night, and I thought I'd just check in because I'm about to start another reading vlog. Unfortunately, this one wasn't my favorite. I felt like the story moved really slowly, and we went in roundabout ways to establish the plot. And I felt like the separation between Scarlet's point of view and Cinder's point of view needed to be a little bit more clear. Like, I feel like, what's it called, chapter headings or something would have probably been better. But I enjoyed Cinder's story a lot more than Scarlet's story. Ultimately, I did like what happened with Scarlet at the end, and her love interest I thought was really interesting. However, I did have a fun time. It is really easy to read and really easy to follow the plot. There's not too much world building, although we are in a new city in a new part of the world, so the world building that was done was pretty good and I enjoyed it. It's very self-explanatory, pretty YA in my opinion, but that's why I did this video. I just wanted something easy and simple to pass the time. For Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, which is book 2 in the Lunar Chronicles, I'm going to give a 3.5. I did have a fun time. It just wasn't as good as Cinder was in my opinion. I also didn't like the fact that Scarlet, our main female character, she was insufferable, very immature, even though she was like 18, like the decisions she made, and she was so impulsive and driven by emotions that I felt like she made the dumbest decisions, even though she herself knew they were dumb. She just acted too impulsively, and I don't like that in a main female character. Cinder, on the other hand, showed a lot of progression from the previous book. She's getting a lot stronger. She's starting to accept her circumstances and rallying to do something about it. So I really enjoyed that part, and it's so easy to read. If you want a quick palate cleanser that's not romance, I think this would be a fun suggestion for that. Let's go back to The Record Keeper, because as I said yesterday, I wasn't sure of my rating on it, and I haven't stopped thinking about this book. There's one character who I absolutely connected with. I wouldn't say connected with because he was like similar to me. He was just a father figure in here, and I felt attached to his character, and I didn't like what the author did to him, but I think it will make a huge difference and an impact in in her actions after everything happened. So I am looking forward to book 2. So I think I'm going to settle on a 4-star just because it did have an impact on me. Obviously, we all suffer from racism, and generationally it can be passed down, and you're brainwashed into thinking what others make you believe. And yeah, it's hard sometimes to come up with your own opinion if you don't have all the facts. I really like the subliminal messaging that this had in it. In the dystopian world, I liked the imagery, and I actually did enjoy the general outcome of the book. So 4-star. But that being said, guys, that is everything. I really enjoyed doing this. Like I said, it is a quick way to just get more reads done, and I just wanted something not too complex where I didn't completely get that. I do have Anatomy somewhere. It's on my bookshelf after I did my wrap up. That is everything. There are some YA suggestions if you want to read them. Let me know if you do read them, or if you've heard of any of these books and what you think. I know a lot of people have heard of the Lunar Chronicles because it was in school libraries in America, but not for us. That is everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so excited for my next video, but yeah, I'm gonna get started on that, and I'll see you all next week. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you very soon. Bye, guys.